Hey guys, and what's up? Here's another video about how to code, and this is a concept called the client-server relationship within coding. It's really a popular concept. If you want to do any sort of web development, it's incredibly crucial. Anything that has to do with Google Chrome, applications like Gmail, Facebook, Google searches, pretty much everything. Twitter, Pinterest, they all work on the concept of client server. Okay, and here's what the concept basically means. You, as a person that has a PC, is the client, and the server is the computer that holds a ton of data. Let's take an example. Let's say I'm living in Tel Aviv, and I'm logged in with my laptop, and I log in to Facebook.com. Okay, here's my computer screen, and so on. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm logged into Facebook.com, and I am the client. Client. Okay? Client. Okay? Now this is just like in a restaurant. I'm the client, and I want to log into Facebook, so I log in. The moment that I log in order to see my profile page and my news feed, my computer, my PC makes a request. Yes, just like in the English language, it requests some data from the server. Okay? And the server is just a box at the end of the day. It's just like you have your modem, right? It's just a box at the end that's turned on somewhere, okay? It's just a box. It's a computer that's storing all this data about the users. So for example, on the server is all the information. It's got information about my friends. It's got their profile pictures. It's got the messages that they just sent to me. It's got the posts that they just wrote, the videos that they uploaded, the pictures that they uploaded. Pretty much everything that's necessary to make the app work is located on the server. And as the client is engaging, as me, the user, I'm engaging with the website, data gets sent back and forth between the client and the server. Okay? And it's really all that simple. And it's just something that's really simple and easy to understand. Once you start coding, I actually started coding at age 28. Today I'm almost 31, and I just feel like if I would have taken the time to understand the concepts earlier, if I wouldn't have been afraid by the stigmas, I would have learned it all so much faster. And now I do it pretty much half-time during my day job, and I think that it's absolutely fascinating. It's really interesting the way that the internet works, because our whole society is changing based on the internet. So that's the concept of the client and the server. And I'll give you some examples of some languages written within the client and languages written on the server side. So for example, in the client side of things, a lot of times it's going to be JavaScript, PHP, and a couple other HTML. Ooh, this is important. HTML and CSS. HTML and CSS are really fundamental. There's I can make some other videos, which is how to view. You can actually view the HTML and CSS of every single website that you access. It's not hidden. It's totally available for you. That's how Google Chrome works. That's how browsers work. The server will send HTML and CSS to my page, which is the client, to my personal laptop, and I'm the client, and the server is serving me data. That's the whole concept. Let's say I'm browsing the news feed. All of a sudden I see a post that I really like. So it's by a friend of mine, and I want to see what my friend is up to. So I click onto his profile page. Okay, let's say for example my friend's name is Bubba. Okay, Bubba Gump, and I click on his picture. The moment that I click on his picture, again a request is made to the server, and the request is for Facebook.com Facebook, and you have a look at your URL. Have a look at what happens in your URL the moment that you click on /profile. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's probably something similar to this. /profile /ID, okay? /8725391, okay? Some sort of long ID, okay? And that's pretty much what happens within the browser. A request is made to facebook.com /profile /8725391. And that 5735391 is pretty much just the ID. ID is a very, very prevalent and common concept in coding. The ID of the user, of Bubba Gump, is 8725391. So the moment that I make a request to that page, the server, there's some logic located on the server, and that's pretty much what coding languages are really good at, doing some sort of logic, doing some sort of calculation, a lot of if-else scenarios. If the ID is 8725391, the server will interact with the database. And what's the database really? Okay, the database pretty much is just a store of data, just like you have Excel. Okay, I'm gonna write here DB. Okay, DB, the database. It's just a base for all your data, okay? And the database probably has the information about Bubba Gump. It's got his picture, it's got his profile, it's got all his friends. And the moment that the client, who's the user actually, I make a request to Bubba Gump, then the server will take the profile ID from the URL. It's gonna make a request to the database. It's gonna say, give me all the information about user 8725391. The database will then pass back to the server all the information, the picture, the post, the friends of Bubba Gump. And finally, the server will pass everything back to me on my computer. And by the way, this all happens within a matter of seconds. And that's why it's really, really fascinating that the coding just becomes faster and faster. The computers get smarter, but it becomes more efficient. Computationally, it just becomes faster. And if you want to set up this entire flow, you have a couple of different options. First of all, you're probably going to need to learn HTML and CSS if you want. It depends on where you want to do your work. So front end is about the client. Okay, the HTML, the CSS, the clicks, handling events of clicking on stuff is usually called front end. Okay, TLD, front end. Okay, and the server stuff is usually called, the server and the database is usually called back end. Okay, it's called the back end, and that all it means is that there's some sort of communication happening. Very commonly, you'll hear in coding tutorials and blogs, there's communication constantly happening between the front end and the back end. If you want to be a back end programmer, you can learn other languages like JavaScript, Java, okay, and so on. Pretty much, there's a couple of different languages for the server. I don't need to know all those languages because I pretty much have just been focusing on JavaScript. Because I'm about 2.5-3 years into my coding journey, then I pretty much just focus on JavaScript because I can write that type of code, that type of logic, both in the back end and in the front end. And so I hope that kind of explains a little bit about how the internet works, how web applications work. Really, I feel like if you understand this, then you can actually start to build your own curriculum. I hope to be putting out more content on this kind of stuff because there's such a stigma that coding is hard and it's difficult. Actually, it becomes really simple. It is a lot of things to learn, but at the end of the day, you can choose which element of a web app you want to work on. You want to work on the front end, you want to work on the design, you want to work on the back end. which is the logic, which handles talking with a database and passing the data back to the client, back to the user, which is called the front end. And that's pretty much all there is to it. If you have any questions, feel free. Please do not hesitate. Write me a comment below. I get so much value from other YouTubers and bloggers that are putting content out. I'm constantly asking more questions, trying to learn more. And that's why I put this video out, in order to pay it forward. So if you have your own questions, feel free to reach out to me in the comments. I'm always happy to help. And have a fantastic day. Keep on coding, keep on learning, and push yourself and challenge yourself. Stay curious. Thank you so much.